Hello, sorry, I've just noticed you're probably not been able to hear anything I've just said because I had my microphone muted, so apologies for that. Rookie mistake. Like I said, I am new to this. Hello, I'm BeRmUdA. Welcome to the live stream. I'm running a nice little mission today, I think. I'm in my Cessna T207A, and let me just go to the external screen so you can see. Just bear with me. Here we go. And we're at the very busy London Stanstead airport, so very nerve-wracking, very nervous in a very small general aviation plane in a very busy airport in London, England. So this is going to be interesting. So what I will do, just a bit of housekeeping here, I'm going to loading live traffic. I do have say intentions AI air traffic control So I'll have a go at that as well. So I'm probably going to make huge amounts of mistakes here. I'm going to do my best to make it as authentic and immersive as possible. So please bear with me. Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, it is a flight simulator game. So if we can learn something, that's good. If we can have some fun, that's also good. Right, this is going to get very busy here once I hit that that traffic button. What I first want to do, if I may, is again, just a bit of housekeeping. I will get to any chat messages that are posted into the live stream. I'll do my best to respond at suitable times, so please bear with me. Again, very new to this. I'm really enjoying it, but it's taken me many hours to set all this up, so I'm sure there's lots of fine-tuning. Bit of health and safety, really. As an ex-personal fitness trainer and a personal coach, which I still am, make sure you got lots of water, please, or a drink to keep you hydrated. As you can see, I do a lot of talking during the live stream, so I'm going to need some water. Good old H2O. Right, let me just... audio levels all look good, so again, please let me know if there are any issues your side, and I'll try and deal with those. Okay, so you're probably going to see me looking to other monitor. I'll try to keep it as immersive and authentic as possible by obviously flying with you kind people out there if you've decided to join me on this beautiful Sunday afternoon or morning or evening, wherever you are in the world. So I have set the flight simulator time to 10 AM, and like I say, I'm going to introduce some live weather. If it gets a bit what's the word, not suitable for general aviation planes, then I'll probably go in the game settings and tweak it a little bit. I mean, it is a beautiful sunny day here in real life, so that's what I want to try and recreate, and hopefully the live weather will do that justice in the game. If you are joining me, please let me know in the comments and the chat where you are in the world, and you know, your flight sim experience. I'm running Flight Sim 2020 for a couple of reasons. One, my 2.5-year-old PC, which was top spec when I had it, probably sweating a little bit now with all the live streaming software and all the other plugins that I'm running. So I don't think it would really cope very well with 2024. And also my friends who flight sim as well, they say 2024 is still a bit buggy. Is that the right word? So maybe there's still some issues there. So I'm really happy with 2020. It's visually for me really nice. The planes that I've got and the custom liveries that I've had designed for me all work beautifully well. So I will upgrade to 2024, of course I will. But I think I need to get a new PC first. Okay, let's jump back inside the plane. It's a little bit noisy outside, isn't it? So, without further ado, let me just first of all check. I'm going to send a test comment just to, if there is anybody watching, just to let you know that I am able to respond to any chat messages. Now, let's talk about the flight, okay? I've done a lot of talking about me. Let's get into the plane and set this up. So I'm going to switch now to show little nav map, which I use for flight planning. Hopefully this goes well, so please bear with me while I transition across. Looks okay to me. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's bring... So I've kind of set a preliminary course. So we're at Stanstead here. Like I say, extremely busy airport. Having flown from there myself several times in real life, it's pretty intense there, the activity. And as you can see, they're not far from Heathrow and the capital, London. So we're going to fly over west. Our destination is here at the beautiful small airfield of Wellesbourne Mountford. Beautiful airfield, has a lot of history, and I'll probably talk you through that once we get nearer to it. But we're actually going to fly past that because I want to try and land in a field. Now, obviously, I'm not planning on having any issues with the plane today, but you never know. I do have failures set. So hopefully this plane, which is the only one, I'm the only pilot that flies this in the sim, if that makes any sense. So I'm pretty confident that the plane is reliable and serviceable. But as you know, if you've ever owned a car or a motorbike, things can go wrong. So I will be ever mindful of the mechanical running of the plane during our flight. With that said, let's go back. So we're going to go. I have some coordinates that I've programmed in that were given by mapping software. So in theory, we should be really pinpoint accurate on the field that I want to land in. When I get there, I'll let you know why I want to land in that field. There is a reason for it. What we'll then do is, if we successfully land, excuse me, let's drink some more water here. If we, or when we successfully land, I suppose I need to be more positive and proactive. When we successfully land in the field, we will then successfully take off, and then we'll do a bit of a sightseeing tour around the local area, which I'm pretty familiar with. We'll have a look for some landmarks, bit of a social, and then we will land successfully at Wellesbourne Mountford Airfield, which is code Echo Golf Bravo Whiskey. Okay, so I think without further ado, let's get the plane started. Now, I just need to load in all the plugins, so just bear with me. So I do have FS2020 traffic injector. So let's get that in. This airport's going to suddenly get extremely busy, so bear with me. Don't think anybody has introduced themselves into the live stream yet, so it looks like it's just me at the minute, which is fine. I love flying solo, but I also like flying in a group. If you do join the stream, here we go. There's a plane just spawned in front of me. I should have probably had this running first. That's broke the immersion a little bit, hasn't it? So apologies for that. Right, say intentions. Okay, this is going to get interesting. I haven't used this program that much, to be honest. But, I want this to be an immersive live stream. So I'm probably going to make loads of mistakes with my communications. I do have a co-pilot with me who hopefully will be able to answer most of the ATC communications for me. But let's get it going. I'm hoping all the audio is set. Again, please bear with me if there are any audio issues. I will iron those out. Okay, slight update to say intentions. That's fine. It shouldn't take us many minutes to get this plane started. I've kind of made memory items of the startup procedure. Being a single engine non-turbo prop, if I'm correct, it's relatively user-friendly, the startup, but I'll try and not make any mistakes, but if I do, please let me know. Again, startup sequence, I've kind of personalised it, what I think works and how it should be done. But again, please, especially if you're a real world pilot, I'm not. So if you do spot any mistakes, please let me know. I love to learn new things and the correct way of doing things. Okay. Restart. Okay. So it's going to close down say intentions while the update is completed. Apologies, I should have done this before. But literally the last 2.5 hours I've been setting this stream up. It's been really exciting to do. Forgot about, are there any software updates? Okay. I'll stop. The chatter just for a minute while let's make sure everything is okay. Okay, comms. So I've switched the comms. If you're used to saying intentions, which I'm not, so I'm just kind of going on intuition here. I have set the comms to co-pilot. We are on what I think is a Unicom frequency. So that'll be interesting because in this plane, I've got to be a bit honest with you. I'm not 100% on the radios. I still class myself as a student pilot in the sim. So we shall see how that goes. Okay, without further ado, does it say there's any errors? Oh no, that's fine. Just quickly checking the settings. Okay, I'm hoping that's all okay. We shall see again shortly. Okay, let's fire up the plane. Now at a big international airport like this, and we're flying a VFR flight, so I'm literally going to hand fly the whole route today. It's part of the fun. I love flying general aviation, hand flying. So again, I'm probably going to break some rules. I've kind of set my default altitude to 1,500 feet. Navigation, I'm okay with, but again, with the mapping, I'm probably going to stray into areas I probably shouldn't do in real life. So again, I'm trying to learn all about real world procedures and that. So let's have a look. Now, hopefully you can see a little nav map there. What I'm going to do is insert the coordinates, the location, into the flight plan. And I actually should have imported that probably into the flight sim. But let's add the point. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to add it into the flight plan. There we go. Add into the flight plan. Let's just move that around. There we go. So as you can see there, we're starting from Stanstead. We're going to go to my BeRmUdA's custom waypoint, and then we're going to fly to Wellesbourne Mountford after a bit of a touristy sightseeing trip. So that's where the field is that I'm going to try and land in. So I am using on-air company, so I do need to monitor this flight. So just bear with me a minute or two, please, while I create the flight plan. I wanted to do it while you was here to show what I was doing in little nav map rather than having it all pre-populated, because this is part of the flight planning, which I know from watching other streamers who are far more skilled and experienced than me. Some of them do spend this bit of time talking through things, and obviously in a group flight I think that works really well, especially if you're bouncing ideas off people and I'm learning, the viewers are learning, and the people flying in the group community are learning. And to me, that's a real bonus to flight simming, because you've got the fun game and then you've got the real kind of technical aspects and protocols and procedures, which is really good. I mean, I've learned so much about aviation as an aviation fan for many years. Actually, flight simming has really taught me a lot of what goes on. So anyway, let's quickly, sorry if I look over here to the other screen, just bear with me. Right, so okay, let's save that on air. So on air uses its own flight plan format, a .pln file, and then we can bring that in. Sorry, I'm not sharing my on air screen. I will have to set that up for a future stream. But in the background, that's what I'm quickly doing here. And then I'll start the tracking. So you may hear some audio from on air, which I think is programmed in. Okay, that seems fine. So I'm going to pretty much max out the plane in terms of fuel. Last thing I want to do is get a fuel warning, although this plane, it literally sips the fuel. It's really economical. So let me validate that. And set the time to 10 AM. Excuse me. And we're going to fly. Okay, so if any of you play on air out there, you'll know there are certain procedures that you have to follow with the flight for the tracking. And obviously you get marked on your performance for, and I have set it to have real world kind of protocols regarding the lighting and the procedure. So I'm going to try and follow that. So there's going to be a lot going on that I'm going to try and get right. I'm probably going to get a lot wrong, so please bear with me. I'll try and talk you through it as I go. So what I'll do, let me jump back to I'll take little nav map. Little nav map. We'll go back to just in the plane. There we go. So if I do jump back to little nav map, it's just to probably give you some kind of information from a navigation point of view, but most of the time I'm going to be in the main view here. I'm not sure whether you can hear that in the background. I can through my headset. The plane's flying over, and there's one just there. We may see some interesting flying today. In the past few live streams, there's been some quite interesting flying going on around me. So without further ado, let's get the plane started. So I'm going to start the tracking. You may hear the audio. Okay, so I'm just going to hide the yoke there for a minute. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Although it is a bit sunny out there, so maybe we will have to use the sunshade. So, what am I doing? Let's go down and switch our batteries on. Alternator battery. If I'm correct, we're going to put our nav and beacon lights on. So we can hear things spooling up there. Just checking their fuel tank is selected. Now, I tend to have the prop in the feathered position and mixture to rich. The reason why, I think it's because it will introduce less torque to the propeller as it starts up. Please correct me if I'm wrong there. To me, that seems a logical thing to do. Whether that is or not, I don't know. I have seen people start it in the full forward position. So, again, I'm maybe doing it wrong. So, please forgive me if I am. I don't want to teach anybody any bad habits out there. Okay. So, the prop area is clear. let me just bring back to the default position. Oops, no, that's the wrong one. Okay, let's just check batteries on, alternator on, mixture to rich. There's no primer that I can see on this plane, so I think we should be able to just turn her over now.
Your flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
Okay, so let's just check everything is good. Okay. Oops, did I? Parking brake is on. We don't want that off while we're doing our quick tests. Okay, so engine is running. We can look at the... Hopefully I've set a custom screen up for this. There we go, so we can look across to our... Oops. There we go, so we can see we got full fuel on board, which is good. We got good power on the voltage there. Obviously our temperatures and pressures will come up, and I'll keep an eye on those that they stay in the green. We can do a quick RPM check, so I'm just going to introduce a bit of throttle. Okay, we do have the props still in, so let's push that forward and let's just check that again. Okay, happy with that. Let's bring it back to idle. Okay, let's get the avionics on. A little switch there, and then we should be able to get some communication going with the services here at London Stanstead. Let's have a quick look outside, see what's happening around us. Yep, as you can see, extremely busy airport. Sorry, it seems to have gone to like a wide angle shot. Let me try and correct that. Chase plane, really good. Really enjoying this. That's better, isn't it? That was a big shadow. Okay. I think we're going to see some interesting flying today. Okay, let's jump back inside. Okay, so... just looking at the instrument panel here. So there's our flight plan. All is good. We do have this interim waypoint. I don't know how to program that into this flight management computer, so apologies for that. We're going to fly using, I guess in the real world I'd have a tablet and some tracking software. I will just set auto pilot altitude to 1500 just in case we get into a bit of a problem and I need to put the autopilot on. Now we're flying VFR. If I'm correct, the transponder code is 7000, so I can turn that on. We can do altitude reporting as well. I think that's what that is. Hopefully when I have some meaningful conversation with air traffic control, and I say meaningful from their point of view, that, you know, I'm not showing the gaps in my knowledge, which I'm clearly going to do. So I'm sure I can get a lot of shorts out of this as humorous clips. I'm going to try not to, obviously. I want to do the right thing, but you never know what's going to happen. Right, so got the engine running, everything's looking good. Let me just see if we can have a chat with somebody in these bigger airports for a VFR flight. Again, being totally honest, I have no idea of the protocols. I do have things set to co-pilot. Maybe I should bring the co-pilot in, actually. Can I do that? Pilot 29 kilos. I don't think so. What do I weigh? I think I'm about 95 kilo. Oh, I think that's going to push us over on the fuel, isn't it?
26.9 gallons of fuel removed during the flight.
Oh no. Okay, so yeah, I think I need my co-pilot. Let's just say she's 60. I do want some more fuel in. Can that take us up to 100%? There we go. Okay. Well, I'm assuming my co-pilot is here. Oh, this is it's a bit embarrassing. I haven't actually flown this plane with that sort of setup. There's no EFB that I know of that I can toggle the animation on. I wonder if from the outside we see. Oh look, from the outside we see the animation, so apologies, that's my lack of understanding of this plane in terms of what it can offer. Okay, let's have a go at trying to have a chat with the ATC. So again, just bear with me if something doesn't quite work out here. Okay, so London Stanstead ground is 121.73. Do I need to chat to ground first? I think I probably do. Oh, how do I change that comp? Okay. 127.18. It's probably a quicker way of doing this, but apologies again. I'm going to apologise a lot during these early live streams while I'm kind of guessing at things. Okay, 127. Oh, 185. Is that right? 180. Okay.
100 feet. Transition level 65. Arriving and departing runway 04. Caution bird activity. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if basic information service is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Sierra.
Information Sierra, okay.
London Stanstead Airport, Information Sierra.
Quite
1350 Zulu. Wind 340 at 6. Visibility 6. Sky conditions, solid overcast at 2900 feet. Temperature 14. Dew point 7. QNH 1020. Density altitude 100 feet. Transition level 65. Arriving and departing runway 04. Caution bird activity. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if basic information service is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Sierra. London Stanstead Airport, Information Sierra.
Change frequency to ground.
1350 Zulu. Wind 340 at 6. Visibility 6. Sky conditions,
0.73.
solid overcast at 2900 feet. Temperature 14. Dew point 7. QNH 1020. Density altitude 100 feet. Transition level 65. Arriving and departing runway 04.
Okay, so actually that was really good that I incorrectly tuned into the 80, so I should have done that anyway, I guess, real world procedure. So I know that the active runway is 04. There is bird activity in the area, so to be cautious of that, and also the information we have is Sierra, so we can report that. So I've got the ground frequency. So I guess first we get a radio check. Let's just have a go back to our view here. Just bear with me. I have a slight problem. I've gone and mapped my HOTAS buttons, and I forgot to program the button for speech in Say Intentions. Well, actually I overwrote the binding, so I'm going to have to do something here, so please bear with me. Oh, you're seeing it all. You're seeing all the rawness of my issues and errors that I create, sometimes for myself, to be honest, most of the times for myself. I'm sure I can make things easier. So let's go into the settings within Say Intentions and remember where the push to talk button is. Okay, comms radio push to talk, here we go, and I need to change that. This is a bit worrying. I've got no free. Oh, actually I think I do. I think I may have a free slot. Ooh, will that work? There's a button on my HOTAS. I'm using a Thrustmaster HOTAS. I'm not sure whether that's going to mess something up. What do I do? Okay, well, you know what? This is a live stream, so I've got to go with it. Let me see what I can do here. So, push to talk. Press and hold this button to talk to ATC. Okay, let's see what I can do. HOTAS X. Oh, no, I don't think it liked that. Let me just use the keyboard, I think, for the moment. To be honest, I don't think we're going to be... Well, we probably are, but hopefully the co-pilot will take over. Let me see if I can... I wanted to use Say Intentions. I wanted to have that immersion. I'm struggling a bit here. I don't have a spare button. Oh, that's frustrating. I think I need to get in the air, don't I? So, you know what? For this session, apologies. I'm not going to use Say Intentions. And I will, for the next flight, sort out the mapping of that button. So what I'm going to do, let's just basically get in the air, shall we? I'm going to be extremely careful of what's around me. We know the active runway is 04. Although I do want to get the ATC working. Can I just quickly map a keyboard button? Keyboard, can I hit the space? Okay, maybe that'll work. Should we do a test? We're on 121.730, which seems to be the ground. Let's give it a try. Stanstead ground, Cessna T207A, Golf Foxtrot Whiskey Foxtrot Alpha. Radio check, please. No, that didn't work. Stanstead ground, Cessna Golf Foxtrot Whiskey Foxtrot Alpha for a radio check, please. No. Okay, let me just try the tower frequency. Let's try the tower frequency and see if we get any joy. If not, I'll have to abandon say intentions, which is a pity. That's okay. Tower is 123.805. Hold on. R check. Is that radio check? 118.01. Let's try that. One 118. One 118.01. Let's give it a try. Stanstead traffic, Golf Foxtrot Whiskey Foxtrot Delta for a radio check, please. No, it's not working. And apologies again, I got my plane identifier wrong. It's Foxtrot Whiskey Foxtrot Delta, not Alpha. Oh, I failed the test straight away, didn't I? Okay, temperatures, pressures are good. I'm mindful that we are sat here in the engine, even with the cowl flaps open. Probably doesn't like it. It is a hot day. I know I can do a test actually in say intentions. Well, that's just a mic test, I think. Test, mic test, say intentions test. Test, mic test, say intentions test. Okay, that's fine. So I know the microphone is working. So it is just how I've set the... That should work, shouldn't it? Choose event, com radio, push to talk. Okay. Calm. Can we test?
This is what the intercom sounds like.
Okay, so we know that things seem to be working. But it's just the binding. Okay, I'm going to have to give it a minute. It's just a pity. I really wanted to get that working just so I could basically learn a bit about the ATC. Let's get this plane flying. So I'll leave say intentions running just in case I can get something going in the background. Okay. I probably need to put the webcam on the other monitor because I'll probably spend most of the time looking at that, which is a bit weird considering this is the one that I'm looking at, which is the flight one. So I guess in the real world, you know, once you've got a stable plane that's in trim, you know, you can look at other things, but and maybe there are well, I know there are real world pilots that do live stream in a general aviation capacity, so, and they're constantly looking around them. That's what you got to do, isn't it? So I just feel a bit, I'm breaking the immersion by not looking directly at the camera and the screen. So again, please bear with me. Oh, also, even though obviously everything that's going wrong seems to be going wrong, if you can like, subscribe and share, that would really help me get the confidence to carry on doing this. So yeah, please like, subscribe and share, help the channel grow. I am multi-streaming on YouTube, Twitch and Kick. So again, if you know, you can let me know how you found the streams on any of them and follow me, that would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Really help me. Okay, so I've chosen one of the busiest airports in the UK, and I've got to now try and navigate to runway 04 without any radios. So apologies to any of the pilots out there of the big planes, and they see this little plane sheepishly taxiing to runway 04, and they probably I can't hear you shouting at me, so I'm going to be respectful. So we got our taxi lights on, parking brake is off. Let's go. I think I can do a turn. I don't need a pushback here. Let's have a look. That's a bit tight, isn't it? I think I'm going to request a pushback. Last thing I want to do is hit any of the furniture. Okay, let's do this. Pushback. Okay, let's just wait for them to appear. Okay, I don't think they're going to appear, are they? So, breaking the laws of physics, mechanics, this plane is reversing by itself. I suppose because this airport doesn't really have any small general aviation parking spots, maybe it's not programmed in. I don't know too much about the sim programming, to be honest. Maybe the reality of it is, yeah, and you can't fit one of those tugs that you can see in the distance on that other plane. That's a bit of overkill, isn't it, for a small general aviation plane like this? Okay, audios all sound good in my headphones. If anything seems too loud or too quiet, please let me know and I'll try and accommodate that. Okay, this person behind me is having a nice little walk around, enjoying the sun. Thankfully they're staying away from the plane. We've got no other planes here taxiing out. Ah, that's a very helpful guide. So I can see that Ryanair flight clearly taxiing in the direction of 04. I don't want to get too close to them because of wake turbulence. Will probably blow this little Cessna on its roof. Okay, I can speed up the pushback. Okay. Let's go back inside the cockpit. Okay, we can end the pushback there. Check everything is, whoops, clear around us. Yep. Okay, let's go. So let's just check everything. Cowl flaps are open, prop full forward, mixture rich, taxi lights, nav, beacon lights are on. We'll put our fuel pump on as we get near to the runway. So let's try and follow proper taxi markings, the route, which I'm hoping air traffic control or ground would have got us going. So this is taxiway Charlie. So I did look to the right, there is nothing coming from there, so let's turn left here. And you can see the Ryanair in the distance. We're going to follow that out. Okay, let's give way to the bigger plane here. Slow down a bit, I don't want to get too close. Those engines, I'm sure even on taxiing settings, wouldn't do the front of my plane much good. Okay, I can see all the lights in the distance. There's obviously a lot of traffic inbound to land. Okay, while I'm just following this out, I'll just bring up, see if anybody is watching the stream and in the chat. Oops, didn't want that. Trying to pay attention that I don't run off the taxiway. That wouldn't be too good, would it? Now, we've got a plane looking to cross here. If they start moving, I stop. I'm sure it's like a maritime law. You give way to the biggest thing out there. Hopefully they've seen me. That small little plane to their left. But I'm mindful. And apologies, I just spotted something else. My head tracker is not active. I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to get it on now. Just bear with me. If you are watching this, please watch the next stream, because you're going to probably see me improve a lot. I can't get any worse. Well, I suppose I can get worse, can't I? I'm definitely, hopefully, giving you entertainment value here. I did set all this up when I was doing all my checking. And you know, I forgot to put it on. Right, so if you suddenly see my head moving around, I don't think it's going to work, is it? Now that I'm... No, I think I'd have to start the sim again, wouldn't I? What I really should do is end this live stream and start again. But you know what? I think it'll be a reminder to me when, in those months ahead and years ahead, hopefully when I'm have more success and reputation as a live streamer, I can look back on this and go and do a replay and go, look at this. Look at what I did in May 2025. Okay, so I'm watching my fuel meters, amp meters, everything, temperatures and pressures are looking good. Cowl flaps are open. Trim is set to take off, but I will double check that in a minute. So without radio comms, I have no idea, apart from visually, who's doing what. And it's, even as a sim pilot, it's making me sweat a little bit, to be honest. Okay, somebody's just taken off. Gotta watch I don't exceed taxi limits. So it looks like there's a plane just at our 1 o'clock there. Gone from holding short to lining up. So things are moving, things are moving. It looks like a Ryanair flight. Wonder where they're off to. Hear them spooling up there. While I hold short, I will try and get the head tracker working, because that to me is one of the biggest immersion things. Okay, having ATC not working does break the immersion, but I find that having the head tracker, you know, mimics what my head is really doing. So, you know, if I want to look right at a plane taking off. Okay, so the windsock, as you can see there, is pretty limp. It's not really doing much. So we should be good for the wind. Okay. What plane is that? Didn't catch the name. The airline. Let's hold short at the end. So that plane in the distance seems to be too high to be landing, so I think I'm good to go, but I'm just going to hold short for a second. Obviously just to prep the plane. Okay, let's hold short here. I'm going to have a quick external look just to see if there is anybody following us out for taxi. No, I think we're good for a few minutes, so let me just try and get this head tracker working. Stop. No, that doesn't seem to be working. Can I unplug that and plug it back in? Sorry, let me just do a quick test. Yep. Okay. That seems to be okay. No, that doesn't seem to be working. There is a... No. No, that's interesting. Doesn't seem to be working there. I did have a binding on the HOTAS to lock the tracker on and off, but that doesn't seem to be working. Okay, plane coming into land. It's a good job I didn't line up there. Okay, let's go and get ready for takeoff. Okay, let's just do a quick visual check because I haven't got the head tracker working, so let me just see. Okay, looks like there is a couple of planes on approach there. I think I can get airborne before they get here. So let's cowl flaps closed, landing lights on, taxi lights off, let's put our fuel pumps on, and we're good to go. Okay, let's not delay, let's get in the air so we're not bothering any commercial aircraft. Okay, we're rolling. Speed is alive. Temperatures and pressures are in the green. Flaps set to take off. Oh, that was very untidy.
Airborne time logged.
All right, positive rate. That was very untidy. Flaps up. Just going to trim. There we are. So trim is set. Just stabilise it a little bit. Watching the speed. I don't want to go too fast. Okay, so just looking at the mapping, I'm going to turn on a pretty much a due west heading. So I'll pretty much turn the fuel pumps off. Let me just check that there. Oh, the head tracker's working. Look at that. So I think in certain views it doesn't work. Okay, last thing I want to make you do now is get dizzy. So as you can see there, I've turned off the fuel pumps. Let's just check our lights. Oops, taxi lights. Let's turn those off. Let's go back to a previous view. Ah, that's what it is. I think this view here does not have, isn't compatible with a head tracker. So I'm probably going to have to be able to change that at some point. Okay, so let's just make sure we're on a good heading first. I want to keep it at about 130 knots. So can't see anybody in the air near to me. Once I've got a general westerly heading, I'm just going to come back a bit southwest at the minute. I'm going to stray too far north, which is what I've done. Okay, flaps are up. Let's just do a checklist here. So plane is set for stable flight as much as I can. Right, I'm mindful I can see some aircraft lights in the distance. I want to try and maintain separation as best as I can. Okay, I've gone a little bit high. I'm going to bring it back down to 1,500 feet. Trying to apply real-world flying techniques, so using the throttle for my altitude adjustments. Right, approaching 1,500 feet. Try and level off. Okay, a little bit fast. Bringing that throttle back. Trying to hold 1,500 feet. I'm doing this all hand flying, so I don't want to cheat by putting the autopilot on for anything really. Though it would be nice to get the head tracker working in this view. Okay, so we need to turn west now, 270. even in the sim, I'm always fascinated by the places that we fly over in the sim, and I try and kind of link and connect those to the real world places, especially if I've been there before. Try and ascertain whether something is accurately represented in the sim. Now I have dropped to 1,000 feet. I saw that happening, so again that's bad of me, trying to turn and maintain altitude at the same time while hand flying. As long as I don't drop too far below 1,000 feet, I'll be happy. I don't want to go annoying all the residents of the places below, as you can see here, with especially on a Sunday, a nice relaxing day. Last thing people want when they're sat in their garden with a glass of orange juice or a cup of tea is a noisy plane flying erratically overhead. That wouldn't go down very well, would it? Especially if they can see my tail number. Which is quite easy to spot on this plane in its blue and white livery. Okay, so I'm kind of heading west now, so I'm just looking at the instruments there. The 6-pack, just checking my status of the plane, heading, speed and everything. Everything's looking good, the plane's looking really good. Temperatures and pressures are in the green, so I'm constantly scanning. If I keep it between 1,000 and 1,500 feet for the whole flight, I'll be happy. Let's try and stabilise the plane a little bit. I'm having to give a bit of back pressure on the stick and then neutralise it. So I really want to try and... There we are. So as you can see, I'm pretty much hands off there. But I notice the plane starts to go into a descent. I just apply a little bit more power. Trying to keep it hands off. I want to show anybody watching that, you know, I didn't just literally load this game in today and start playing. Well, that's what it looks like, doesn't it, so far? Okay, so we've gone quite nose high there. But again, it's this oscillation I'm trying to avoid. I'm trying to smooth out the ride. If I was carrying passengers, the last thing I want them to do is to start feeling unwell because I'm giving them a roller coaster
Weed
ride.
290 at 2 knots.
Where did that come from? Did you hear that? A wind report. That was quite good. I have no idea where that came from. Probably just in the game, hopefully. So again, I'm going up and down, just
At our 2 o'clock, about 1 kilometre away, we can see Sandon Business Park. While it may not be a natural landmark, it's interesting to note that this area has been developed into an industrial zone. The park is home to various businesses, but what's fascinating is that it's situated in a region that has been historically agricultural. The transformation from farmland to business park reflects the changes in land use over the years. So, while we might not be flying over a majestic mountain or a serene lake, we're witnessing the evolution of land use in this part of the UK.
Wow. Very impressive. That's clearly something in say intentions that has been added in. Pretty impressive. Sorry, I kind of just had to move the view with the mouse there. I'd love to get this working. Right, just mindful I'm drifting slightly. What was that, a motorway that we were just underneath there? Oh, it's the A10. That road to the left of us is the A10. If I'm correct, isn't that the Roman road, or is that the A5? Eesh, I'd need to look at a map and try and fly the plane. I think I'll fly the plane first. Okay, so I'm just mindful we are drifting slightly south of where we need to be. So I'm just going to bring us back on track. Thankfully the plane is a little bit stable, although I've noticed I have dropped below 1,000 feet, which is very naughty of me. I'm just applying a little bit of power. Let's get her to climb. I can get her up to 1,200, 1,300 feet. I say her, this is a plane, isn't it? Why do I do that? It's a plane. It's a plane. Okay. It'd be different if I had given the plane a name like Dolly, or which I guess they did a lot in the kind of the Second World War, you know, the pilots flying, but I'll shut up now. Right. So I'm getting a bit messy with the throttle here. Trying to stabilise the plane at about 1,300 feet. As you can see from my altimeter, really not doing a very good job of keeping this plane flying level. So you can see I've gone alpha high there, my nose has gone high. And then it should stabilise, dip down a little bit. I think what I'll do, I'm going to go hands off the throttle. I'm just going to keep us on a westerly course. I need to come a bit more north because we're slightly off our flight path. So let's see what the plane does in terms of altitude and speed. So at the moment we're doing about 110 knots, but we've just broken through 1,500 feet, which I didn't want to do. The problem is if I now go and reduce the throttle, we should descend probably at a rate that I wouldn't want to do, and then we end up going below 1,000 feet and I end up applying throttle, and this kind of pitch and roll, pitch and climb, pitch up and down, will just be never ending, and then I'll end up getting sick. As you can see here, yeah, the nose is pitched up again. So I think that combination of trim, throttle, and stick input is a real, you've got to know your plane really well to have that smoothness, and I'm doing a really bad job of that. So I think I'm going to need to fly this plane a lot more. I mean, look at that, we're just hitting 2,000 feet. Doing a very bad job. Let's check the trim. It looks pretty balanced. The trim wheel looks stable in the middle. What I wanted to do was try and get some stability in the with the plane, so I could actually look at the view settings to try and get the head tracker working in this internal view. Okay, so it's climbing through 2,000. I think I've got too much throttle, so I'm just bringing the throttle back a little bit to try and get us down to 1,500 feet. Okay, so I'm going to start turning back west. This is pretty much the flight path we want. Whilst at the same time trying to bring it down to 1,500 feet. Now in the distance there, it looks like there is an airfield. What I don't want to do, I can see what looks like a departing aircraft. What I don't want to do is fly the length, the line of the runway and interrupt any traffic that's in the pattern. I assume that's a small airfield, so pattern probably is left-hand circuit. So I'm going to come up to the right, assuming that the way I'm facing is the active runway. Can't take that for granted. Okay. Seem to be kind of stabilised at around 2,000 feet. I do want to bring it down a little bit, so I'm just going to reduce the throttle. Try and get us down to 1,500 feet without too much. Without upsetting the plane too much. So you can see the nose dipping down, pitching down slightly. Just mindful we are about to pass over a populated area. Hey, if real world flying is as fun as this, then it gets my vote.
At our 12 o'clock, about 4 kilometres away, we can see London Luton Airport. This airport is one of the major airports serving London and has a fascinating history. It opened in 1938 and was originally a small airfield known as Luton Airport. Over the years, it has transformed into a bustling international airport serving millions of passengers each year. It's interesting to note that Luton Airport was the first airport in the UK to have a dedicated terminal building, which was built in 1961. So, as we fly over, we're witnessing not just an airport, but a significant part of aviation history.
Well, there you have it. That is Luton. What I thought was a small airfield is actually quite a large airport. Oops, just be mindful of. Okay. So Luton Airport. Fascinating. So I don't know whether you can see the plane at the 1 o'clock there, 2 o'clock, high altitude. Maybe that's probably too high to be coming into land at Luton. But it seems quite quiet in the sky around this this airport. So I do like saying tensions. The fact that it's the co-pilot is giving us some information of where we fly. That's fascinating. It made me jump actually. I wasn't expecting to get any audio, knowing that the ATC isn't working for this stream. So more by luck than judgment, we are holding at around 1,500 feet with a stable airspeed and pretty much hands off. I'm just giving slight corrections. There is a bit of wind up here. It's only 2-3 knots. It's pretty much coming from directly on our nose, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. One thing I have to do, and I keep forgetting to do this, which is really naughty of me, is switch fuel tanks in this plane. So as you can see, I've just done that at the bottom of the picture there. Otherwise what you get is obviously one wing heavier than the other, and that's probably not helping me keep on course. Right, I'm mindful that we are descending. Don't want to do that. I definitely don't want to go below 1,000 feet. So down to our right there, looks heavily industrial, and we have got to our left some, looks like a man-made water feature there. Okay, so let's turn and head west. Bring her back onto a 270 heading. So the plane is feeling like it's in trim now, which I'm really enjoying. I'm not having to kind of do that reactive stick input and throttle input. One thing I should do again, which I'm been a bit naughty that I haven't, is I've got the prop full forward. Well, that's giving them kind of a lot of torque, and if I had more throttle input, that would probably overstress the propeller. So I'm just going to bring the throttle back a little bit. There we go. You can maybe hear the change in the engine noise as I do that. Okay. So we're heading in the right direction, which for somebody called Bermuda is actually pretty good going. Okay, I've just dropped below 1,000 feet, so very naughty of me, and that was as a result of obviously adjusting the prop pitch slightly. So very bad piloting, very bad skills I'm showing here. So I'm just going to increase the throttle a little bit. So we're doing about 105 knots, so I'm not too worried. We're not getting into stall situations, which is previously that's one of my biggest problems. I'm fighting altitude and I forget about my airspeed, and in the climb, especially on autopilot, the plane gets into a stall situation. This plane is very forgiving, but it's not nice to hear that stall warning horn going off, because you've then got to react, pushing the stick forward, etc., and that's not good. That's not good. Anyway, cheers. Okay. We're heading in the right direction. Just under 1,200 feet. Again, something has just come to mind. I haven't checked any barometric pressure or gyro drift, so let's see if that does anything. Yep. So did you see the compass just jump then? So there was some gyro drift introduced.
At our 12 o'clock, about 2 kilometers away, we can see Pages Park. This park is a lovely recreational area that offers a nice green space for locals to enjoy. It features walking paths, sports facilities, and even a children's play area. Interestingly, Pages Park is situated near the Grand Union Canal, which was completed in 1805 and played a significant role in transporting goods during the Industrial Revolution. So while we might just see a park from up here, it's part of a larger story of transportation and community in this region.
I'm really liking that tourist information. I wouldn't have even had a clue about Pages Park, I think co-pilot said. Alright, we're pretty much holding a westerly course. I don't want to be too aggressive with myself over the navigation. As long as we maintain separation with other aircraft and we're respectful to the locals below with how we're flying the plane, that's pretty good to me today. Just getting slightly upset with the stability of the plane. I think the wind has increased. Yes, it has. It's 4 knots and it's very changeable. Yeah, so we're getting a lot of fluctuation in wind direction and speed. It's going from 2 knots to 5 knots. From 275 to 180 actually, so it's really quite wild fluctuations in the wind up here. But thankfully the wind speed is quite low, although it is causing us a a minor issue. I have to keep an eye on that. Okay, holding 1500 feet quite nicely. Slight inputs on the stick for course corrections. So the calculation is we're about 80 miles away from our coordinate location, which is about 40 minutes flight time given our current speed. So what do I want to do when I get there? Well, I'm going to literally fly around, check out the landscape first, identify where I need to land, that's obviously very important, and then make a decision whether it is safe to land. I guess that's logically what I would want to do. Let's see what happens when we get there. I'm just going to check. So we have used a little bit of fuel in our left tank, so I have switched to the right tank, as you can see there. So we are slightly imbalanced. We have more fuel in our right tank than our left, so that's causing a little bit of an issue as well, probably for the plane. Actually, comms, just noticed there the comm button wasn't turned on. Would that be a problem for our ATC? I don't know. So looking at the vertical speed indicator, the VSI, it's, as you can see there, it's fluctuating a little bit. In the ideal world, I'd want that as close to...
At our 11 o'clock, about 6 kilometres away, we can see the Bridge Inn Wacky Warehouse. While it may not be an iconic landmark, it's a fun family entertainment centre. However, if we look a bit further, we can spot the Grand Union Canal, which runs through this area. This canal was completed in 1805 and was crucial for transporting goods during the Industrial Revolution. It's fascinating to think about all the boats that once travelled these waters, carrying everything from coal to agricultural products. So while we might be flying over a leisure centre, we're also flying over a piece of history that played a significant role in shaping the economy of this region.
Again, that took me by surprise, so I didn't know exactly where that location was. Okay, just slight bit of course correction there. Well, this plane is flying pretty stable. I'm just going to chase plane and see if I can get the head tracker to work in this view. I'm not sure what I can change on that. Adjust. So looking at the settings here, I cannot see where I can assign that with the head tracker. I think what I need to do is probably look at one that I know the head tracker is working on. This one here, for instance. Let's have a look at that. Ah, has head tracking Okay, I can see now in the bottom. So if you're using chase plane, there is a setting, whoops, going off course. Ah, so I can edit that, right. So I should be able to put the head tracker on. Head tracking on. Oh, look at that. That is much better. Much better. Okay. Oh, that is good. I'm happy with that. Okay, so I've gone a little bit off course. Excuse me, and I sneezed, which wouldn't help if I was trying to do some input. So the flight controls. All right, mindful that altitude has gone below 1,000 feet. It's so easy to lose concentration. So I will get better at all of these skill sets, I'm sure. I'm just really happy that the head tracker is working. Definitely would have helped me when I was moving around the airfield, that's for sure. Okay. Sorry, that jumping you're seeing there is just I'm recentering the head tracker. Okay. Altitude is good, speed is good, direction is okay. So I'm just looking at the VSI, 500 feet per minute climb. Let's just bring that back down, try and stabilise it.
At our 12 o'clock, about 5 kilometres away, we can see Bicester Park and Ride. While it may not be a natural landmark, it's interesting to note that this facility is part of a larger transport system that helps reduce congestion in the area. However, if we look a bit further, we can spot the Oxford Canal, which runs nearby. This canal was completed in 1790 and was originally used for transporting goods like coal and timber. It's fascinating to think about the boats that once travelled these waters, connecting communities and facilitating trade. So, while we might be flying over a parking facility, we're also flying over a piece of history that played a significant role in the development of the region.
Wow. Good bit of local history there. If you like history like I do, you'll probably be really curious about what possible archaeological finds still have yet to be discovered. So I'm not sure which part of the world you are in, but I'm based in the UK, so all these lovely fields out there. It'd be nice to think there's some metal detectorists down there having a look. And despite all the tin cans and discarded metal objects, they do find some treasures. And I think there have been some recently in the last few years in England, you know, Saxon coins, or, you know, Bronze Age jewellery, that sort of thing. So I think The landscapes around us, probably even where you are as well, have a lot to reveal. And I guess with the advancements in ground penetrating radar and metal detectors, you know, it's kind of, it's non-destructive archaeology. You know, you don't have to dig holes everywhere. To see what's under the ground. Okay, so that little jump you had there, I'll just lock the head tracker while I look at my mapping screen, otherwise my head will be going left and right. And then I'll just bring it back. I think that works much better than me doing this as I look at the other monitor. It's going to make you seasick, isn't it, or air sick. All right. Vertical speed is pretty stable. It's going up and down a little bit, but I think that's fluctuating with the wind. What I am mindful of is the swapping the fuel selector. So let's just check. We're good. Maybe in the next minute or two, couple of minutes, I'll change tanks. I'm really enjoying this flight now that I can look left and right. That's a bonus. That's a bonus. It means I haven't got to take my hand off the controls, and that improves the flying experience a lot. Still not perfect, but better. At least I'm flying pretty straight and level. Mindful that the vertical speed indicator is still pointing to the positive, so I may just need to ease back on the throttle a little bit, or maybe just point the nose, trim down a couple of notches. Let's give it a go. Let's notch it down a couple. I'm really enjoying this flight. It's very relaxing. And if you are watching this on a replay, so I don't think anybody's live with me now, the relaxation of flying is something that I'm going to develop on in future streams. I don't want to give too much away right this minute. So please, if you are watching this on a replay, please like and subscribe so you can get notifications about what I'm going to be planning in the very near future. So okay, a lot of agriculture and green and brown fields ahead of us. So having just passed kind of Oxfordshire, we're heading into the Cotswolds now. So if you've ever come to the UK as a tourist, or you live near the Cotswolds and you've been near Stratford-on-Avon or Oxford, or any of the Cotswold villages like Bourton-on-the-Water, Stow-on-the-Wold, Morton-in-the-Marsh, you'll know what a beautiful part of the country this is.
At our 12 o'clock, about 3 kilometres away, we can see Ditchley Park. This park is a beautiful recreational area that has been around since the 18th century. The estate was originally built in 1722 and has been a favourite retreat for many notable figures, including prime ministers. It's surrounded by stunning landscapes and is known for its impressive gardens. So, while we might just see a park from up here, it's a place steeped in history and nature that has hosted some important guests over the years.
Nice to know. Actually, flying this route today, I'm learning a lot about some of the places that I've didn't even know existed. So, really informative. Okay, just mindful our altitude is dropping quite dramatically, so let's just try and stabilise the plane a little bit. Let's get back on a westerly heading again. So the last flight I had was around the coast, and it was a pretty, I won't forget the flight actually, because it was really interesting, because I just didn't see any traffic. But today we're seeing a lot, as you can see down there. So yeah, I made some jokes about, you know, am I in a post-apocalyptic landscape, because I just didn't see anybody. And then occasionally you'd see a car doing bizarre manoeuvres in a field, which kind of added to the atmosphere of being in a some kind of post-apocalyptic environment. I was thinking, what am I going to see next? A UFO? So, okay, let's switch tanks now before I forget. Oops. Let's reset the view. Trying to keep the plane as in balance as much as I can. Mindful we've come down to 1,000 feet. It's taking a lot of processing power for me to try and keep this plane in level flight, and I thought it'd be easier than this today, but I'm struggling a little bit with everything that's going on. So just shows how quick you can start to have some problems. I think the aviation experts call it flying behind the plane. If you're flying behind the plane and reacting to what it's doing, you're going to get yourself into a spot of bother very quickly. So you should always be flying ahead of the plane. So whilst I feel like I'm not flying behind the plane, I am mindful that I am looking down at the instruments and not realising that either I've drifted off course, my altitude is increasing or decreasing outside of what I want it to be. So I'm making a real conscious effort to keep it within a kind of a stability, a status of stability, if that makes any sense. So and even when visually it looks like the plane is stable in a favourable condition to obviously fly, you can probably get a bit of target fixation where you're just looking out the window, the horizon looks pretty stable, and yet you're drifting off course, your speed is either increasing or decreasing. Obviously that's affecting your altitude, but because of the horizon where it is, even though as you can see here, if I just pull back on the stick, the distance between the nose of the plane and the horizon, and that's giving me nearly 1,000 foot per minute climb. But it actually doesn't look that dramatic, does it? So I'm letting it drop, and as you can see there, that's 400 feet per minute, and we're only at 1,400 feet. So it wouldn't take me very long to actually get into a position where the plane is actually dangerously low and I haven't paid attention. Now, obviously the title of this stream is trying to land in a field, or something similar to that. And with all those kind of visual landmarks and cues to tell me where I am and how high I am and how fast I'm going, without looking at the instruments.
At our 1 o'clock, about 3 kilometres away, we can see Park Farm. While it may just look like a guest house from up here, it's a charming spot nestled in the countryside. The area around it is known for its beautiful landscapes and agricultural heritage. Interestingly, many farms like this one have been around for generations, adapting to modern farming techniques while still holding on to their traditional roots. So, as we fly over, we're not just seeing a guest house, but a piece of the rural life that has shaped this region for years.
Okay, that's interesting. I think that is that building down there, if I can... Yeah, there you go, just down there. I do think my co-pilot is reading from a book. The format of the dialogue is very similar, isn't it? Very... Sorry, just centering the head tracker there. It's a very standardised commentary, isn't it? Okay, so I've just noticed we are climbing again in altitude. Arriving at waypoint. No, we're not. Oh, yes, we are. So, right, so we're actually very close to the waypoint coordinates that I'm going to try and land at. So I got slightly disorientated there, and it took the nav computer trying to tell me that you've arrived where you wanted to be. So what I'm going to do is just start to ease back a bit and get the speed down. So probably at about 90 knots. So this is where I really need to get good control of the plane. So where we're going to try and land is somewhere up ahead. It's quite a logical statement, isn't it? Considering we're flying in the direction we want to be going. So somewhere up ahead is the field that I'm going to try and land at. If this does go badly wrong and I end up damaging the plane, obviously the reality is the stream ends here. So I want to get this right. I want to get this right. Okay. All right. I know I've been talking a lot, and maybe a lot of what I've been saying probably hasn't made much sense to the person watching this. Normally I'm not a very talkative person. I enjoy a bit of peace and quiet every now and then, but I think when I'm flying the plane it's really helpful to kind of talk myself through things. I'm not sure whether you employ such tactics. If you are watching this, feel free, even if it's after the event, to leave comments on whether you're a talky person when you're trying to work things out. Okay. Alright, so we're getting very close now to the potential landing site. So my first priority is it suitable to land? I'm not going to just go for it, which I probably would normally do. I would probably say I can do that and just go for it. I'm going to try and be a bit more systematic and realistic here. So if there are any real world pilots out there or other sim pilots, let me know what you do if you're flying into somewhere you've never been before. What sort of strategies just getting comfortable in my seat there. What sort of strategies do you employ and apply? And I guess this probably all comes down to maybe an emergency procedure. If suddenly the engine cuts out, what would you do? What would I do? So I'm looking around here for suitable landing sites. I'm mindful there are electricity pylons and other utility furniture out there. Okay, so it's literally just up to our left here. According to my GPS data. So, and at the worst possible time, I've got cramp in my leg. I need to stretch it out. Not the best time to get cramp in your leg. Okay, happy with the plane's trim, so feels good. Speed is good and the altitude's good. Okay, we're still a few miles away from our potential landing site, so
at our 12 o'clock, about 4 kilometres away, we can see Dowdeswell Park. This park is a lovely recreational area that offers a great escape into nature. It's known for its beautiful walking trails and scenic views of the surrounding countryside. Interestingly, Dowdeswell Park is also home to a variety of wildlife, making it a popular spot for bird watchers. So while we might just see a park from up here, it's a vibrant habitat that supports local flora and fauna and a great place for outdoor activities.
Huh? I can't knock the quality of information I'm getting. Maybe the timing of it is a bit a bit inappropriate. I'm trying to concentrate on landing a plane here in a field. Now obviously I can see a populated area ahead, so that's interesting. It's definitely nowhere near that, that's for sure. So am I getting nervous? Yeah, I gotta be honest, yeah I am. I don't want to damage the plane. I don't want to have a hard landing and land the plane in the field and then I can't take off again. Okay. Okay. So a little bit concerning that we're getting very close to a populated area here. And the field is quite close, so maybe, just maybe, this is not suitable. Right, so I'm mindful I've dropped below 1,000 feet, so I'm going to climb up to about 1,500 again. I think we're a few miles away from the site, but I need to be sorry, let me finish the sentence. I need to be very mindful of where exactly I am. You can probably see the concentration on my face. 8,000 feet, about 100 knots. Okay. Alright, I've drifted slightly off course. Go back west a little bit. I'm really enjoying this. You probably can't see it from my face, but this is good fun. I'm enjoying this. I think what I need to do when I land is I'm probably going to get out of the aeroplane, stretch my legs, if you catch my drift. So take a 5-10 minute comfort break, and then we can get on our way towards the destination airfield of Wellesbourne Mountford, but we can have a nice bit of a sightseeing tour. And I'm sure my co-pilot will give some fascinating tourist information on the places that we fly. Okay, is that an airfield down there? Yes, it is. That's interesting. I think that's Gloucester. Yep. That's Gloucester International Airfield, and I've flown right by one of its active runway lines. Very naughty of me. Can't see much activity down there today. I think I would have got a bit of a telling off. Maybe I still will, for flying very, very close to its boundaries. Okay, so we're just going to turn slightly northwest now as we get close to this location. So I had a bit of spatial disorientation earlier before we got to that populated area, when we was in that rural setting. I thought it was there, so clearly not. It's somewhere up there. Okay, we're very close now, very close. So I just kind of want to pinpoint the location. So it looks like it's just literally ahead of us now. So let me fly over and have a look at the mapping. Just watching the speed. It says it's just up here to the left. Let me just check that. So literally straight ahead now. I just want to kind of pinpoint when I actually fly over, and then I can take a bearing from that. Okay, approaching the site now. So we're actually crossing over it from the orientation that I want to land in, apparently. So there should be a long stretch of rural area. Now there's a road there. So it's just before the road. And it is literally just here. So where's those buildings? Okay. So let's just turn round. So it's the other side of the road. So I have got permission in the sim to do this. I have got permission to have this to do this kind of procedural flying around this location. Even at such slow speed, trying to turn quite sharply. So there's the road. I think it's these three fields here. The problem I've got is those lines of trees.
At our 11 o'clock, about 4 kilometres away, we can see Kingsholm Stadium. While it may be a sports complex, it's interesting to note that Kingsholm has been the home of Gloucester Rugby since 1891. It's one of the oldest rugby stadiums in the world and has a seating capacity of over 16,000. The stadium is known for its passionate fans and electric atmosphere during matches. So as we fly over, we're not just seeing a sports venue, but a place where history and sport come together in a thrilling way.
Wow, nice to know. Unfortunately, I didn't catch any of that. I'm trying to land a plane. Okay. Probably get that repeated back. So let me try and do a tight turn here. I've got to be really careful. This plane is not designed for acrobatics. And I don't want to lose my situational awareness. Okay, I'm mindful of the airspeed. I think it is. It's these three fields. It's these three fields here, isn't it? Just where I'm nose on now. Just across the road, and to the right of those two kind of agricultural buildings. So there it is. There, directly beneath us. The problem is those trees are the problem. I can't risk running into those trees if I try and land. Is there anywhere else suitable that I can land? That there looks quite good, doesn't it? Just think that area there. What do I do? What do I do? Okay, let's just take another pass. Let's have another look. I'll just head to this river, and then I'll turn left, and then come back on ourselves. This is exciting. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the challenge and the decision making that I'm mindful I am at 500 feet at low speed. What I'm going to do, I'm going to introduce a little bit of flap. 10 degrees, is it 10 degrees of flap? 10 degrees of flap, just to help give the plane a bit more lift as I bring the speed down. I definitely don't want to be hearing that stall warning alarm. And I guess the way I'm thinking is if I bring the speed down, it'll probably give me a good indication of what I can actually do in terms of landing. Right, so there's the river again. So that field just there, if you can see through the binoculars, is probably the one that I could land in. Mindful there are some trees that I would have to clear. That would look doable, but you'd have to be extremely accurate on your approach. Where have those two farm buildings gone? Have I gone too far? Sorry, no, I think that's right. That's the field down there that I think I could land in. This one here. This is exciting stuff. I'm really... Oh, look at that. That's a nice long field, isn't it? You know what? I think, could I try that? Let me turn around. I think the actual site I wanted is just up here to our right. So if I just make a mental note of that river there. Let's turn back round to the original site. Sorry if the head tracker's going a bit haywire. Yeah, here it is. Look, I think, yeah. Yeah, because there's those two agricultural buildings. Watching my speed. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to land there. That's... The risk of running into those trees is too great. I could probably land in this one if I got the approach just right. Yeah, that's probably doable actually. Now I've got better control on my speed with the flaps. Alright. Mindful of the fuel as well. We have a bit of imbalance there. I'm going to have to switch tanks over to the right again. Oh, speed is very low. Not good. Nearly got a stall there, and at 400 feet that would have been quite disastrous. Let's just try and get a bit of trim. Right, let's switch tanks over. I'm not sure how this is coming across as to anybody watching. I'm sure if I was carrying passengers, they'd be if they were adrenaline junkies, they'd probably be enjoying this. Okay, there's the river. Now, where's that field that I was looking at? Was it this one? Just off our nose there? Probably was. Nice and flat, nice and long, or longish. Right, I'm going to do one more circuit. The wind is coming from the west, so it's kind of a bit of a crosswind. If you look at we're currently flying south. There'll be a little bit of a crosswind. It's only
at
2
our 12
knots.
o'clock, about 4 kilometres away, we can see Kingsholm Stadium. This stadium has been the home of Gloucester Rugby since 1891 and is one of the oldest rugby stadiums in the world. It can hold over 16,000 fans, and the atmosphere during a match is electric. The stadium has witnessed many thrilling moments in rugby history, making it a significant landmark for sports enthusiasts. So, as we fly over, we're not just passing by a sports venue, we're gliding over a piece of rugby history.
Wow. Yeah, I like rugby. I like rugby. Okay, so one more circuit and then I'm going to make a decision, go, no go. I think that's what they used for the NASA landing, didn't they? Go, no go. I don't see why we can't apply that here to general aviation about landing in a field. Anybody on the ground below probably looking up going, what is that plane doing? What is that plane doing? Right, so there's the two buildings that we now have seen at least 3 times. See, I could probably land in this first field. My problem is, can I stop the plane in time? That is my concern. See, that field there, probably I could do it. We're just flying low enough over the trees and actually getting the plane on the ground can be quite tricky. I'll be totally honest with you, ground effect, when you're literally 20, 30 feet off the ground and then the plane feels like it's lifting up again. That is some... Okay, so there's the noise that I didn't want to hear. Apologies. So there's me talking and I got into a position where the plane was about to stall. Okay. So there's a couple of good fields just right next to this river. This one being one of them, literally just on our nose there. There's a couple of good ones here. But it's just getting that speed just right. And I'm mindful of those trees. I think I could land in this one actually. I think that's quite doable. Is that a road there? A little dirt track? Yeah, you see, I wouldn't want to... Let's just accelerate up. I wouldn't want the wheels to hit that and then cartwheel the plane. End over end, that would not be good. That's a nice little one, running... Okay. I think I'm going to try and land in that field that I've just passed over, so I'll turn around in a minute, line it up, and see what we can do. Okay. It's very weird, the stall warning horn is quite aggressive. I didn't feel like I had lost any control in the plane. Maybe it does come on to give you plenty of warning, which is fine, I got no problem with that. I think this was the field here, wasn't it? I think I'm a little bit too high. Let's give it a go. Right, I'm just bringing the flaps down a little bit. Yeah, see, I think I'm approaching too high. Let's give it a go. I can always pull out of it if I have to.
Landing time logged.
Woo! How exciting. That was very exciting. Wow, I need to take a moment there just to kind of allow my brain to cool down. How much did I have left? I had a little bit left. I got to be honest, I don't think I would have... I don't think I would have continued the landing if I'd have hit that dirt track. If my wheels hadn't have come down then, I would have aborted and gone round. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, if you've watched this far in, hopefully you've enjoyed the video so far. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn around. Let's open the cowl flaps, we don't want the engine to overheat. And very naughty of me, I didn't put my... Yeah, let's put the taxi lights on. I know we're on the ground in a field. Let's release the brakes. I was expecting a bit of a bump as I went over that dirt track, to be honest. Not sure how realistic the terrain, the coding is in 2020 to what you see on the ground, to how you feel in the plane. I mean, that we just went over there was quite a bit of a dip. Oh wow, I love the effect on the wheels. And actually that grass would probably give quite a bit of drag in real life. Or at the risk of turning the plane around or doing something. That's such a nice visual, that is. Okay. So I'm going to avoid that rough ground just to the right here. This looks like a very clean, ploughed field. I'm not sure whether it's ploughed. No, it's not ploughed, is it? I probably would be noticing the bumps a bit more. Okay. So I guess in real life I'd probably be making a few phone calls, speaking to the landowner and saying, look, ever so sorry, I've landed in one of your fields. Not the one I wanted to land in. Do you mind if I stay a few minutes and then take off? Okay, let's just turn it around here so we haven't got a problem when we come to take off. Give ourselves as much room as possible. Okay, that looks about good enough for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do, power the plane down. Well, no, actually, I'm going to leave the plane running. Let's just take it that we're making a few phone calls and that. I'm going to go and grab a coffee and stretch my legs. I cannot feel my right leg at all. So, if you are watching this, it's a good time, yeah, if you want to grab a quick 5-minute comfort break. And I will see you back here shortly. Unfortunately, in the stream, I don't have a Be Right Back screen, so anybody coming along and wondering why is this plane just sat there doing nothing and I can't hear anything, they'll be none the wiser. Look at that electric pylon over there. A bit worried about where those cables were running because I didn't see them. Oh yeah, sorry, I can see them in the distance. Look at that. Yeah, I think I definitely need a break. Look, there's the line of the pylons. So, okay. Right, I am going to take a quick breather. 5 minutes, I will be back. Hello, BeRmUdA's back. I hope you had a relaxing few minutes. And I did. I've gone and grabbed my coffee. Here it is. And I'm going to enjoy that. So I guess in the real world I'd have made a few phone calls. Spoke with a landowner. Asked them if they could get the kettle on. And I could explain why I landed in their field. So I'm sure it happens a lot in the real world. Also, it was good for me to get out, stretch my legs and get the sensation back in my right leg. If there are any real world pilots out there, probably aimed more at the general aviation community than the commercial. I'm sure in the commercial you can get out of your seat and have a walk around the immediate area, but as a general aviation pilot, you can't just undo your seatbelt and get out your seat, can I? I mean, look at that. There's nowhere for me to go. So what do you do? What do you do if you've got cramp in your leg or your back's hurting? So that would be my biggest concern. I mean, we've been flying for an hour and a half and I was starting to get a bit uncomfortable. Okay, so enough of that. Let's have a look at our fuel. Okay, we are on the right tank, so that's fine. Temperatures and pressures are in the green. I think we're ready to take off, so let's just check around us. Farmer stood well back with his retrievers. There you go. So we got a report that all's good to go. All's good to go. Okay, let's just check. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the fuel pumps on here. Okay, don't want to leave them running too long. Right, cowl flaps, let's close. Props full forward, full pitch. Lights, that's fine, isn't it? We're okay. We don't need pitot heat. I'm just going to do a quick run up on the brakes. Yeah, all's looking good. Whoa. Did I have my parking brake on? No, I didn't. See? I just told myself off a little bit in my head there. I've come back to my plane and I didn't check the parking brakes right. Okay, so the run-up's good. I've lost a bit of distance there, but I'm happy we can take off. So let's just check now. We've got flap set to 10, prop full, mixture full, cowl flaps closed, lights are all good, fuel pumps are on. Let's get the yoke back there for a bit of immersion. Just check everything in the stream. Make sure you can hear me. Yep, everything looks good there. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at my other monitor. It's bad of me. I'm just let me show you this actually. Sorry, just for a bit of fun before I do take off. Let me bring up the nav map so you can actually see the route I took. Where is it? Here. There you go. So let me just manipulate that a little bit so you can see. Look at that. That's. Should I take a screenshot of that? I reckon I should. Can I? Let's see if I can take a screenshot of that. Oh, I don't want that. Is he going to let me? I think I got that. Okay, so joking aside, that's quite a bit of a circuit there, isn't it? So that's originally where that yellow, the green circle is. Sorry, that's the position I originally intended to land at. You can see hopefully you can see my cursor moving around. But where we actually ended up, it's not too far away. That's where I originally wanted to go. That was my coordinates, and that's where I ended up. So, and it took a few passes, didn't it, for us to find that suitable location, or one that I was comfortable landing on. Okay, let's get back to the flying. Okay, so we're ready to take off. I'm happy. Are you happy? Shall I just check my barometrics? I suppose that's what I should do. Density, altitude and all that. Okay, so slight correction on the gyro. Altitude is good. What's that, about 200 feet? Let's go. Parking brakes are on. Alright, let's parking brakes off. We're rolling. So at what point would I abort? Well, if I can't clear those trees at the end, I'm a bit in a mess, aren't I? Alright, speed is alive. Rotate.
Airborne again.
I was happy with that takeoff. Flaps up. I felt comfortable that I was going to make that, but I think there is a rule of thumb. I cannot remember what it is. Is it if you're... I don't even want to try and guess it, to be honest. It's something about a position down the runway, or obviously the available distance you've got ahead. If you're not doing 70% of your takeoff speed when you're halfway down the runway, you have to shut down. I think it's something like that. If you do know, please put it in the comments or the live chat, and either back me up or correct me. It'd be nice for me to get something right for a change, wouldn't it? It'd be nice for me to get something right without having to search on the internet. Okay, so let's just check. I can turn the taxi lights off now, and the fuel pumps. I think the fuel pumps actually did help. Never really noticed that much of a difference, but then again, I've never really taken off on the same runway with them off and with them on to compare, but I'm sure they do give you that bit of extra boost. Okay, so we're going to turn right now, 90 degrees, and we're going to head towards our destination airfield of Wellesbourne Mountford. But I will take you a little sightseeing tour around Stratford-on-Avon, which is extremely popular this time of year with a lot of foreign tourists, because it's not far from when Shakespeare was born in around middle of April. Now, I don't know whether this is an urban myth or not. I need to check it, but apparently Shakespeare was born on April the 15th, I'm going to guess. Could be the 23rd, maybe. Oh, now I'm showing my lack of knowledge here. Shakespeare was born in April. And the day that he was born is also the day that he died on. Obviously not in the same year, but I'm not sure whether that's an urban myth or not. I'd have to find out. But we're going to head towards Stratford. We're going to take a low 1,000 feet pass around the area. I'm hoping my co-pilot will do the honours of telling us a bit about Stratford. If not, I'll try and give you some information, some tourist information off the top of my head. Okay, mindful about trimming the plane out. I don't want to be going too fast on this final leg now. So let's just start to head northeast, and I'm going to do something that's probably a big no-no. At some point I'm going to want to drink my coffee. Now this is immersion braking, isn't it? There is a co-pilot there, because we can see them from the outside, can't we? Yeah, there's the co-pilot. So in theory I could hand over control to them while I drink my coffee. But if I get the plane in trim, maybe I can just take a sip of coffee without causing any friction between me and the co-pilot. Okay, so I'm going to start heading northeast now. So let's turn. Mindful we've just dropped below 1,000 feet, which I didn't want to do. If I drove my car the way that I drove this plane today, I think I would lose my licence straight away. Obviously, if I was driving my car at 1,000 feet above sea level, I think I'd have a bigger problem.
At hour 2 o'clock, about 5 kilometres away, we can see Gloucestershire Airport. This airport has been a key player in the aviation scene since it opened in 1930. Originally a military airfield, it has since transitioned into a public sports airport, catering to general aviation and pilot training. It's interesting to note that the airport is home to a variety of flying clubs and hosts numerous aviation events throughout the year. So as we fly over, we're not just passing by an airport, we're flying over a hub of aviation activity that has been fostering pilots and aviation enthusiasts for decades.
Wow. She said all that, I don't think she took a breath. I'm going to have to choose a different plane, I think, that I can have the passengers and co-pilot showing. But I love this plane. This T07 Stationair Cessna is a really nice plane to fly. I think I came across it by chance because I'm used to flying the 172 and the 182, as well as, what's the other one I fly? The PA-28. I'm really embarrassing myself here. A lot of, obviously, other streamers, they know their planes inside out. I won't name names. That may sound like favouritism, but there's a couple of sim pilots that I follow who are astoundingly good at what they do. So, and then on the opposite end of the scale, you got me, total newbie to the scene. Okay, I've been in flight sims for some time, but the live stream aspect, relatively new. I mean, I've been trying to set this channel up for the best part of 12 months. So I won't go into all the boring details, you'll fall asleep. And oh, if you're looking for something to put you to sleep, then watch one of my streams. Okay, I've got off course again. Okay. The skies have been pretty quiet. Where's that aircraft gone? Oop, making myself feel sick. Just over there by the spa. Oh, now there's one directly ahead of me. I think someone's playing games with me here. I can see that high jet there, but not the one closer to me. Watch the altitude, Bermuda. You're drifting again. 800 feet. Let's get her up to 1,000 feet. Yeah, let's get some speed. Watching the VSI, I'm quite extreme in my inputs here, so I need to get better at that. I'm well aware of that. 1,000 feet per minute isn't really a very comfortable climb rate in a small aircraft like this, and obviously that's going to scrub a lot of speed off as well, which is not what I want to do. See if we can stabilise the plane a little bit. Okay, we're going to turn northeast now. Go for a split bearing of 45 degrees, 045. So obviously if I had the ATC working, we'd have had radar contact pretty much most of the flight. And I would be contacting Wellesbourne Mountford Tower shortly to give our intentions to enter the pattern and to land. So, okay, we're still climbing 500 feet a minute. That's not what I want to do. I want to try and stabilise this now. So let's see if I can use a combination of trim. And I'm not touching the throttle at all now because we're holding it about 90 knots, which is fine for this return final leg. But I do want to try and stabilise.
At our 9 o'clock, about 5 kilometers away, we can see Croft Farm Leisure and Water Park. While it may seem like just an amusement park and campground, it's actually a popular spot for water sports and outdoor activities. The park is situated near the River Avon, which is known for its scenic beauty and is a great place for boating and fishing. So as we fly over, we're not just passing by a leisure centre. We're gliding over a place where people come to enjoy the great outdoors and connect with nature.
Very nice. Another place I didn't know existed. Okay, I got a bit of an imbalance here with the plane, and I'm thinking, is the fuel looks okay, it looks reasonably balanced, so, and the wind isn't that great, so I'm wondering what's causing the problem. I'm wondering whether it's some kind of thermal lift, it is quite warm today. It's hitting about 22 degrees. So as I'm passing over these areas of water, and I might experience some sort of thermal lift that's upsetting the plane a little bit. Yeah, see, that's tipping the wings, and I'm pretty much hands off now. Okay, let's correct our course a little bit. We've gone slightly off. See, we're getting 1,000 foot per minute lift nearly. That's, and then it's kind of stabilising back down. Now, I don't think that was all due to me just going into the turn. And look at that, we've gone over 400 feet in the descent. I definitely think there's some weather element going on here. See, we've gone into a steep climb again. So I know the plane is probably trying to stabilise itself a little bit. Right, let's I'm pretty much hands off. I just want to see what the plane does in terms of stabilising. I want to get to 045, so we're pretty much on course. I'll try and just give aileron input only, just to keep us on course, and just see what the plane does. Alright, so as you can see, I'm hands off. I'm going to drink my coffee. coffee in one hand, stick in the other. That's a recipe for disaster, isn't it? I hope I don't spill it, and then we will have a problem, won't we? Right, so we're climbing up. We're just shy of 2,000 feet, but we've gone nose down, pitch down again. Speed's quite stable at about 100 knots, so I'm going to try and trim down a little bit, and let's see if that can smooth this out. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, so airspeed has increased as we're in the descent. I want it to stable out at about 1,500 feet. I'm not touching the throttle at all. Okay. So the climb, the VSI climb rate there was a bit more comfortable. It only went up to 500 feet per minute. Interesting. And descent rates at about 300. So I'm hoping this will stabilise now I've trimmed down a little bit. It's mindful of, I'm only giving aileron input to do course correction. I need to come back a little bit to the right. 060 should be good for that. So we do have Stratford ahead of us in the distance, and I'm sure my co-pilot will give us some information, some tourist information. Okay, we're still climbing a little bit. I do want to bring it down. I'll definitely bring it down to 1,000 feet once we get to Stratford. We'll do a few circuits, and that's not unknown in the real world. If you go and visit Stratford, you will see tourist helicopters. You will see helicopters and planes taking people on tourist sightseeing trips around Stratford, because they will take off from the airport that we're going to land at, which is Wellesbourne Mountford, and it's only literally, well, you can fly from Wellesbourne Mountford and be over Stratford in a plane in 2 minutes, 60 seconds probably. Okay, and we're doing okay. We're doing okay. Right, Stratford is at about our 10 o'clock, so I'm going to just veer off course now, and we'll head towards Stratford, and hopefully my colleague here will give us some tourist information. I'm interested to see whether she knows the birth date of Shakespeare. Okay, so live chat is empty, so there's been no content there, which is okay. I'll again, being totally honest, even though I can see it, I think I probably wouldn't have noticed it for some time. I'm going to get better at this live streaming. It may take me a year or so, but please bear with me. I'll do everything I can to get better. Whoops, so my head goes back to take a drink of coffee. We see a failing within the graphics there. Sorry, I was being lazy there. I should have locked the head tracker while I did that. Right, so I'm just going to slowly ease back on the throttle as we come up towards Stratford on Avon, which is literally straight ahead of us now. From my reckoning, no, I don't think that is Stratford, is it? Hold on. No, that must be. Well, according to my data, that is Stratford on Avon. just there. Okay. All right. Right, I'm going to introduce 10 degrees of flap just so we can, so the nose will lift a little bit. Just so we can get a lower airspeed as we circle Stratford. What I particularly want to do is take you along the river here, because we should see Holy Trinity Church, which is, as my tour guide will hopefully tell us, is where Shakespeare's buried. So I do want to see whether this is true to life. So let's have a look. Okay, so this is definitely Stratford-on-Avon to our left here.
At our 1 o'clock, about 3 kilometres away, we can see the bridge in Stratford-upon-Avon. This isn't just any bridge, it's a charming spot that connects the two sides of the River Avon. The river itself is famous for being the birthplace of William Shakespeare, and the area around the bridge is often bustling with tourists and locals enjoying the scenic views. The bridge is a great place to take a leisurely stroll or enjoy a picnic while soaking in the history of this literary town. So, as we fly over, we're not just passing by a bridge, we're gliding over a piece of Shakespearean heritage.
And there it is. And actually what you can see there, that building, sorry, I will do another circuit, that's called Lucy's Mill, and that is literally adjoining the church, the Holy Trinity Church. So you're seeing the built-up area here of Stratford. There is another bridge, a much older bridge in the town. I'm mindful that I'm literally at 400 feet here, but there is a much older bridge. Unfortunately the sim doesn't really depict that. Let me turn around and we'll come back round. Okay. I think if I was flying for a company, they'd be most upset when they looked at the telemetry and seen that the stall warning had gone off several times. Okay. And obviously you've also got the Royal Shakespeare Theatre Company. The Royal Shakespeare Company, the RSC. So there you can see Lucy's Mill just down there. And there's the famous, one of the famous bridges, and the new built marina, which is there in real life actually. That was only completed a few years ago. That's quite good that it's in the game just there. I'm well impressed with that. Okay, but I haven't seen Holy Trinity Church yet, so let's try and come in from a different flight path. Rather than going south to north, let's go east to west. Just watching my airspeed. Let's see if I can get this just right. Definitely want to see the Holy Trinity Church before I head to our destination. Okay, so there's Lucy's Mill just in the distance there. Oop, just there. So the church should just be behind it, and I can't see it, and that's really frustrating. It's literally just at our 11 o'clock now, and it's not there. That, where those houses are, that is where the church should be. Obviously I haven't got a scenery pack, so we're just seeing kind of default scenery. But you think with all the other points of interest in the game, we'd have Shakespeare's church at least. I'm just going to do one more flyby. And then we'll head to our... Sorry about that. I'm kind of flying the plane by feel on the HOTAS, so it's really comfortable. I don't feel that I'm stalling the plane. Okay. So there's, down there is, that's accurate. That's where all the canal barges are, just there. I'm going to try and come over to the left hand side of the river, so when I bank right we should... I'm looking for the church. No, sorry, I was a bit too much of too close to the river there to get an angle. Let me do a turn here and come in as I originally wanted from the side, but yeah, I got the stall warning again. Being such a kind of a quite accommodating passenger plane, I think this is probably the wrong plane to be doing it in. Maybe I'll need a smaller...
At our 10 o'clock, about 1 kilometre away, we can see the bridge in Stratford upon Avon. This isn't just any bridge, it's a charming spot that connects the two sides of the River Avon. The river itself is famous for being the birthplace of William Shakespeare, and the area around the bridge is often bustling with tourists and locals enjoying the scenic views. The bridge is a great place to take a leisurely stroll or enjoy a picnic while soaking in the history of this literary town. So, as we fly over, we're not just passing by a bridge, we're gliding over a piece of Shakespearean heritage.
Okay, well, first things first, we heard that before, didn't we? And secondly, did you notice the voice change there? I was a bit worried. I'm not sure whether my co-pilot's a robot. Oh, and there you go, it's a stall warning again. Okay. Well, I definitely didn't see the church there. I mean, there's the bridge. You can just see there at our 10 o'clock just coming round, there's Lucy's Mill, which is a good representation of it actually, some real posh apartments. But yeah, just where those houses are, you can just see in the corner of the windshield there, and now through the side window, that is where the church is. Yeah, that doesn't represent the... and the road actually runs by it. So, no, that's a bit disappointing. And the last time I went, the church was definitely there, so... Okay, let's head to our destination now. Thanks for flying with us and staying with us so far, whether you're covertly watching on the live stream or whether you are watching this on the replay. I really appreciate that. And you know, I'd love to know how many people actually would like this video, so you know, in time I can look back and say, well, you know what, 12 people liked it, that was worth doing. 12 people liked it. That's 12 more than I thought would like it. So you know what, if I can get into double digits on the likes, I'd be well happy. Well happy. And the fact that I'm sweating here because it's a really hot day. This computer has got 10 fans in it and it's kicking out a lot of heat. But hey, enough of my discomfort, and I can not feel my right leg again. So, but hey, I'm going to go in the garden and do some exercises. Okay, so Wellesbourne Mountford is literally to our 2 o'clock. Let's see if we can see it through the binoculars. There it is. Let's just try and figure out the active runway. Just bear with me. Okay, so sorry if that startled you, that bit of a dive there. That was intentional. I was just didn't want to get into a stall again. Okay, so it looks like runway 36 is the best. There will be a bit of a crosswind from right to left. So let me enter a left-hand pattern here. It's going to be a very, very short landing. We haven't got a problem today. As you can see, it's pretty devoid of general aviation traffic, which actually for the afternoon of a hot Sunday like this is quite rare. There must be some high-ranking football game on, or rugby game, I guess. Who knows? Okay, so let's prepare for landing, shall we? Let's just trim the plane a little bit, just so I can ease the back pressure. There we go. So I am going to put the fuel pumps on for this. Fuel pumps on. Let's get our 10 degrees of flap. Right, prop is full, mixture is full. Okay, let's turn to base and prepare to go onto finals. A nice leisurely turn. Watching my airspeed indicator. Definitely don't want to be getting stall warnings on final. Okay, that's a very short final. Okay, it's just easing back on the throttle, bringing her to idle, turning short final. Onto runway 36. I'm a little high. Actually, I'm a lot high. I may have to go around here. I'm a little fast, too fast. No, I'm going around. Sorry about that. Flaps up. Okay.
At our 12 o'clock, just 1 kilometer away, we can see Charlocote Park. This beautiful park is not just a recreational area, it's also home to Charlocote House, a stunning 16th century mansion that was once the residence of the Lucy family. Legend has it that William Shakespeare was caught poaching deer in the park, which led to a rather tense encounter with the local landowners. The park is also a wildlife refuge, so keep an eye out for some of the local fauna as we fly over. It's a lovely spot that combines nature and history.
Well, you know what? That's having been to Charlocote Park, that's a really good bit of tourist information. Well worth it. Apparently, it is an urban legend that Shakespeare was caught poaching. If I'm correct, Shakespeare's father was a lawyer, a barrister, or in the legal profession. And the shame it would have brought on the family. So I think that is an urban legend because of the rivalry that there was between the Shakespeare family and the locals. To be honest, Shakespeare apparently was in London a lot of the time anyway, so he didn't really spend much time in Stratford. Obviously he did marry and have children and live in Stratford, but he personally spent a lot of time in London. So I think it is definitely an urban legend. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I'm just taking a much wider turn now to go from downwind to base, because I really gave myself very little room to manoeuvre and I was too high. So it would not have been a good decision to force the landing there. But yeah, thanks to the tour guide. That Charlocote Park is a fascinating place. It is a National Trust property, well worth the visit. And that's the thing with Stratford. Most people immediately think William Shakespeare, whereas there are a lot of other very noble families that had a lot of influence on the area. The Cloptons and the Lucy family. Anyway, let's focus on the landing. Flaps to 10, that's a bit late of me, apologies. But I think my altitude I'm a lot happier with. Again, I probably should have gone a bit further out just to line up for final, but I'm happy. I'm happy with this attempt so far. Okay, bringing the throttle back to idle. I want to see if I get any of this kind of ground effect where the plane just suddenly wants to lift. Okay. Okay, full idle. Bring her in. Slightly off. Oh, let's flare a little bit. Slightly off the centre line.
Landing time logged.
That felt good. That felt good. Okay, let's get off the runway. Okay, taxi lights on. Landing off. Strobe off. Cowl flaps open. Fuel pumps off. And let's park up. Flaps to 0. Okay, Wellesbourne Mountford. Unfortunately, you can't see it here in this scenery pack, but it's home to one of the Vulcan bombers, and it's run by enthusiasts who keep it in really good condition, and they do actually fire the engines up. So again, that's well worth. And there is, to my right, where these houses are, not really an accurate representation, but that's where the cafe is, which is probably more like where this building is that I'm looking at here to the right. There is a cafe there, and you can watch the planes taxiing past and taking off, and it's a really nice place to go. Right, I am just going to park up on the right here, and then we'll quickly shut down and debrief, and I will bid you farewell, but we've got a few minutes to go before that. Can I park here? I don't think anybody will mind, will they? I know they do a lot of helicopter training here. Maybe this is a helicopter spot. Okay, parking brakes are on. Check everything. All looks good. Now, do I shut down with turning the fuel tab off or the mixture? I never know how to do this. What I will do, I'll probably just do the mixture. Or maybe I should do the fuel. Let's do the fuel.
Engine off time logged.
There
The
we go.
flight is finished. It has been monitored by On Air.
All right, let's avionics off. Okay, that broke the immersion a bit. Computer graphics, but hey. Okay, lights. Oops, no. I'm not the park brake. Light. What are you doing? Is it just me? I'm not seeing those lights probably. Okay. Beacon off. Nav off. Magnetos off. Battery. Oop. Oh, come on. My fingers aren't that bad. There we go. And the plane slowly cools down and... Well... So in terms of a debrief, what did I think of that flight? I was happy with it. I did loads of things wrong. But hey, I can only get better, can't I? Please let me know in the comments if you did watch this all the way through, or even just in part, what you thought of it. I'll take any positive criticism. So, well, I don't think I damaged the plane, even landing in a kind of on an unofficial grass strip. I think it was pretty good, you know. I think any landing where you keep the wheels on the ground and not the other way around, I think is always a good one. And I can probably get the telemetry actually. Just bear with me. Let me have a look at the landing rate for that. That was 128 feet per minute, and we landed at 65 knots, so above stall speed, and I think anything less than 200 feet a minute I'm happy with. Is that van stuck? Front wheels are spinning. What are they doing? Okay. So, and that's actually quite an accurate representation. The other side of the airfield, there are some houses at the bottom that were built not that long ago, and these industrial units. And there is a famous market held every Saturday at Wellesbourne Mountford, sorry. My tour guide didn't give that information. So, what else is there to say? Well, again, you know, if you haven't done so already, I really would appreciate if you could like, subscribe, and maybe share this video with anyone you think might want a bit of a laugh at somebody trying to fly a plane. And hopefully see you on a future stream. I aim to do one of these flights at least once a week. So if you can join me, that would be fantastic. I guess all I got to say is enjoy the rest of your weekend, what little is there of left, and enjoy the week ahead. And I look forward to flying with you again, whether as a viewer or as a group flight. So until then, peace and namaste.